Well, it is another day, the second day of the year, another opportunity for us to engage, for us to chat, for us to get your questions answered. Kind of an impromptu go live. This is not our normal rhythm. Don't usually go live on Thursdays, but I want to say a word of welcome to anybody that is watching currently. And if you're catching this on replay, you're in for a treat. And even you, I want to encourage you to put your comments in the chat if you want to put your comments underneath the video. My name is Kirk Nugent. Get to serve as your host here on this channel. And we're talking about live selling, live shopping, and in my own terms, live solving. One of the things that we went over yesterday in yesterday's live stream, and if you didn't get a chance to check that, you should definitely check that out, was to look at this concept of storytelling, the art of storytelling, the practices of storytelling. And we gave some principles. We started off by saying storytelling is the art of sharing a narrative with an audience through language, movement, or vocalization. It can be done in many mediums, including spoken word, written text, film, music, or dance. Storytelling is an art and social activity that can be used for entertainment, education, cultural preservation, or to instill moral values. It can help people to find common ground, empathy, and of course, understanding. And we shared some effective tips for storytelling. The first one being know your audience. You got to know your audience. You got to know what that profile is. You got to know what baggage they bring with them. And we each have baggage. I'm not saying that from a negative perspective, but you got to know what their steps have been that led them to this moment where they're now sitting in front of you for that content, for that broadcast. You have to understand that content is very much one-on-one, whether it's live shopping, whether it's top of funnel marketing type content, whether it's how-to content or even entertainment content. You've got to recognize that the person that is consuming that is not seeing a whole crowd. They don't see what you see. They don't see the comments below. They don't know that thousands or even just 10 or so are going to watch it. They see this as a conversation between you and them. So you got to know them. What did it take for them to get to that space today? Did they come there because they searched for it? Did they come there because they know, like, and trust you already? Did they come there because they've been banging their head against this particular issue? Did they come there because they needed a release? Right? They needed to get out of their mind and their issues and their struggles and stresses and all of the things that are weighing on their shoulders. Did they come there just to kind of veg out for a little bit? Knowing the posture of your audience as they approach your content, knowing your audience's normative behavior, their regular ebbs and flows and rhythms of life, helps you to speak more specifically to them. You want to consider, the length of the content, how your stories will infuse or drive home the points that you're making. And in most specifically, what is the language, right? The verbiage, right? The slang or vernacular that is common to your audience. The second thing that we talked about was make them care, engaging your audience. They only care about what they care about. So the way to make them care is to help them self-identify that they actually do care. How do you do that? You ask them, have you ever questions? Have you ever wondered why it is live content is something that people watch way longer than produced content? Why is it that people will hang around for a hour, 2-hour live stream or even podcast discussion, and they will only watch a produced video for maybe a minute? In fact, some are saying you only have a few seconds to capture their attention. Why is that? Have you ever wondered why that is? And maybe you're in the chat right now hoping that I will answer that question, but I was posing that as an example. This is the way that you make your audience plug in. I cannot hear that question and not self-identify. And so if I were to self-identify, I'd be like, absolutely. I've always wondered why live is better. And maybe you should check out the Why I Go Live podcast hosted by yours truly. But the point simply is people want to be involved in the discussion. So in a little bit, when I bring up some of the comments from those who are watching live, 12 of you are on the live with us today. When I bring up some of those comments, that engages them and that allows them to see themselves in the conversation. In fact, it allows them to see themselves having impact on where this conversational car is going to go. And that's why they stay around longer. But the point is, in terms of storytelling, you want to make them care. You want to engage them. You want to make sure they know that you are specifically there to talk to them. And once you do that, once they recognize he's talking to me, she's talking to me, oh, they're going to be engaged. The second to last one, or third one, I should say, is set the scene. You want to create context for the stories that you're sharing, regardless if it's live content, whether or establishing yourself as a thought leader in a given space. If you're doing top of funnel marketing content, if you are live selling, you want to establish the story context. What was happening? I always tell people, if you take a live, from a live selling perspective, let me see, okay, for these glasses here, right? These glasses, if I take these glasses, I want to sell this to somebody else. One of the things I always tell people to do is write down the date and time that you bought those glasses, why you bought, well, you bought that thing, it doesn't have to be glasses, but why you bought them, from where you bought them from. And if once you know what the date and time was, what was happening around that time and that season? Was it winter? Was it summer? Was it fall? You're creating context. Had you just gone to the optometrist and received a report that you needed a stronger prescription on your glass? Like, set the scene. And if you did go to the optometrist, why did you go to the optometrist? You want to set the context, set the groundwork, set the framework for what it is you're about to share with people. When you're telling a story, that's what you want to do. And regardless, as I mentioned before, several times, if it's live shopping or other types of content, when you set that stage, you're setting the scene and you're allowing people to be pulled in to what it is you're about to share. The last step that I wanted to share is be creative. This is a recap from yesterday's live stream where we talked about storytelling, and we gave these very critical, effective steps. Know your audience, make them care, set the scene, and finally, be creative. Consider using that tension and making there be a crescendo and a grand finale. Don't just tell them the end of the story. I got a chance to speak at an event, and I was telling them about this particular story, about this IT guy who was traveling the world, and he did this and he did that. The whole message, the whole time, the whole speaking engagement, I was giving people pieces of my own story, but I was speaking in third person. And I gave them 3 specific times or incidents and experiences that I wanted to expound on, but I didn't want them to know that I was talking from my own story. So I gave them those 3. Then at the end, I shared with them in a very short sentence type fashion that person was me, that I was the one who was the twin that did not die. And it was my crying that alerted my parents to come to the room to check and recognize that my twin, something had happened with him, and he eventually did pass away. That it was me that was traveling to the Philippines, but we were supposed to go to Haiti, and just arbitrarily my boss decided to shift gears and go to the Philippines. And so while in the airport in Manila, I saw the sign or the news headline that read, 7.6 Richter scale earthquake in Haiti. The places that we were supposed to stay, they had been crumbled, and I shared those pieces after the fact to create this tension, to create this grand finale, to create this crescendo. It's the art of storytelling that causes people to plug in, that grips their attention, that causes them to move from where they're kind of engaged to where they give you a little more of their attention. And here is the clincher for any storyteller, public speaker out there, to where your audience member begins to lean in. That's the power of storytelling. And it's a little bit of what we want to get into today as we look to tomorrow's masterclass on live selling. Let's dive in. Well, I am having too good a time. In fact, so good a time that I've totally forgot to hit the right button. But I will say this, man, I love seeing you, love being able to come and hang out with you. For those that need a little bit of a station identification, this isn't our normal time for the Coaching Corner, but we do the Coaching Corner every Wednesday at noon in the Central Time Zone, which is, again, 1 p.m. for our folks in the East. And then what is that? That's 10 a.m. for our folks out west, and we always have a good time. Your questions are the agenda, so you want to make sure you bring your questions. Just put a Q and a colon in front of that bad boy and you'll be good to go. So that's what we normally do here, but today we're here live because I want to make sure you're aware of tomorrow's masterclass at 10:30 a.m. Central Time. Again, that's 11:30 for my folks in the East. That is 8:30 right there in the beginning of the day, Friday, January 3rd for my folks in the West. Live selling masterclass. It's a free class. Head on over to kirkarnugent.com or kirkarnugent.live. Either one will get you there /masterclass, and you'll be able to see some of the details that are there. You'll be able to take advantage of some of the other masterclasses that we did in the past, and I think you will be pleasantly intrigued and surprised by all of what we have on that particular page. So many different things for you to be able to engage in. I see there are many of you hanging with us today, watching with us today, and we want to make sure we are able to catch your comments and all the different things that you are experiencing there as well. Let me see if I can bring up the masterclass page. There we have it. And let's go to the screen. And let's take down our flyer. Boom. So this is the masterclass page that you have right here. And you can see you made it to the masterclass. The masterclass is in 20 hours, 17 minutes, and 15, 13, 14, 12 seconds, 11 seconds. It's counting down. And you can see me and the guest presenter, Billy Thorpe. He is a monster, y'all. Like, you definitely want to make sure you come check out this guy. Billy Thorpe has grown a six-figure Amazon influencer business in his first 12 months on the platform, generated 3,100 brand deals, and worked with 500 plus e-commerce sellers since 2022. Definitely want to make sure you guys get a chance to come and check us out tomorrow for the masterclass. Now, with that said, and a little bit of a word of welcome, let's check out our comments. You guys are doing the most today. Happy New Year to each and every one of you. I see Tracy was like, dude, I'm here first today. David says he's waiting. Here we go. Hello, Kirk. Greetings to you as well, Dr. Vibe. I see several of you in the chat. Blessings to all of you in 2025. Florence is here as well. Always good. On OTN podcast, salute to you as well, sir. Appreciate you. Love to see the engagement in the chat. Blessings to the How It All Works family for sure. Oh, Sippy Cup Adventures is with us today. So good afternoon. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you so much again for being with us. Yo, Kevin Cox is with us from out in Cali. Thank you so much. Yeah. The mob is strong today. We got 16 folks hanging out with us on the live. Super excited to have them. What a name. What a name, David Hunt says. Yeah. I've gotten a chance to actually be in a Zoom session with can't remember the real name. Why am I blanking? I've got to work on that. But with Sippy Cup Adventures of Northern California, definitely excited to be able to work with them. Yeah, he says, yeah, it's a mouthful. But once you understand their story, you'll understand a little bit behind the name. So definitely, you see what I did there, which you understand the story. The story is in the name. Love it. Shira Renee says, hey, everybody. Hey, you've been a consistent viewer of our live content. I've seen you in the chat consistently over the past couple weeks and months, and I'm excited for that. Just wanted to shout you out and thank you for that. Dr. Vibe says, great intro, Kirk. Oh, Tracy is giving me a shout out. I love this one. She says, I love Kirk's storytelling approach. I wonder how many people brought a towel bought a towel rail after yesterday. Now, I will be honest with you. I am counting four. I have counted four people already who bought that towel rack from yesterday, just off of that story alone. But I tell you, if that is any indicator of what story can do, then you definitely want to make sure you come and check us out for the masterclass on tomorrow with my good friend, Billy Thorpe. 4:30 p.m. in the UK is what Tracy is saying. Oh, that's cool. So we're not doing too bad. We're not doing too bad. 4:30 p.m. Oh, 4:30 p.m. in the UK is the time of the masterclass. Got it. Okay, as I was sitting there thinking to myself, no, it should be way later than that. Yes, that's the time of the masterclass. You are absolutely correct, Tracy. Of course, I'm reading through the comments in their order, but of course, you didn't comment that thing right now. So you were talking about that when we were talking about the masterclass. Micah Fleming says, Happy New Year to everyone. Marina is with us. Always good to catch you live. I'm up till now for a moment. Yes, just for a moment. I'm glad to be able to catch you live, and thank you so much for chiming in, making your presence known. Darren is the name. I wanted to say Marin, and I was like, Marin doesn't sound right, but Darren is definitely correct. Greetings to you as well, K-Walk. We thank you so much for coming through. Darren is the name. Yes, she says, yeah, right now it's 8:15. Of course it's 8:15. I was thinking to myself, what in the world? You're getting it all wrong, Kirk. Coins Making Sense says, good afternoon, Kirk Nugent. I have not seen your streams lately. Missed the morning motivations. Hey, man, listen, I have not been doing the morning motivation, at least for the last month. It's just been a crazy time. And that early time frame, I've really been trying to lock in with the kids before they go off to school. So I'm making some adjustments there. I see that, but we definitely are still putting out the morning motivation every Wednesday at 6:30 a.m. Now, I will say this, because this is such a great point, because I was at my barbershop right now. Can you tell? I was at my barbershop a little bit earlier, and my barber was saying, man, I have not seen your content. None of your lives don't show up. I know you went live to celebrate 10,000 subscribers, but I didn't get the notification. I didn't see anything pop up. What do I need to do? So I was like, I don't know. Let me look at your phone. He gave me his phone. We looked at his phone, and there's a new, maybe it's not new, but there is an additional setting if you look at your notifications. And I just want to make sure everybody that's watching right now gets a chance to look at this for yourselves. Maybe not just for my content, but for whatever content that's out there. There's a setting, used to be on or off. If you had the notification bell on, you'd get all the notifications from that particular channel. But right now they have personalized, I think it is. I can't remember the exact word, but whatever it is, it's basically YouTube saying, we will look at your normal behavior on YouTube, and we will suggest different things from your subscribers, not necessarily everything. So you have to actually go in and change that if you want to get the notifications from a particular creator or particular channel, in this case, me. So definitely want to make sure you guys get a chance to check that out, and hopefully you'll be able to change your settings so that you get more of those notifications. Coins Making Sense, we definitely missed having you, so if you can make that change in your notifications, that would be great. It's 4:17 a.m. getting really sleepy. You should definitely be sleeping. We'll catch this on replay. Thank you so much, Marina, for coming through and hanging out. What platform are you streaming with now? I'm looking for a replacement for StreamYard. Would you still suggest EVMux? I still suggest EVMux. Especially if you are not on a Mac. If you are on a Mac, right? If you are using a Mac computer, then I recommend what I'm using right now, which is to answer your other part of your question, which is Ecamm Live. This is Ecamm Live that we are utilizing right now. And I just find it to be a far more feature rich and stable platform to stream from. I mean, I just go live, y'all. I hit the go live button. I've got my stream deck here, and I just do what I need to do. So definitely I would recommend Ecamm Live. If you haven't already, check out Ecamm Live. If you're on a Mac, I think Ecamm Live is pound for pound the best option for any of us to be able to use for content creation, for podcast recording, for live streaming. Ecamm Live is the joint. I cannot tell you how much it's such a cheat code. I mean, I've did some projects even this morning, and Ecamm Live just made my life so much simpler. So Hopefully that makes sense. And let's take a look at and see if anybody has any questions. All right, there's 16 of you guys on the live today, and I'm excited that you're here. This is I mean, some of you are still off, because it's still early in the year. Others of you just kind of coming in and hanging out. Yeah. Oh, on a Mac. She says she's on a Mac. You should do Ecamm Live. You want to hear something also interesting? Ecamm Live is actually more cost effective than the other web-based platforms. And so that always trips me out. It's like, man, why would I pay more for a platform that isn't as feature rich and function heavy as the other, right? So you have all these limitations because you're web-based. You don't have any of those limitations when you're locally installed. I don't know why it would actually be comparable, or even in this case cheaper. vMix is another one for my Windows folks out there. You probably don't hear me say that very much, but vMix is an option if you want to have an locally installed streaming platform, content creation platform. But I don't say it much because vMix really is a far more the learning curve for vMix is what I want to say. I want to say it's more complicated. Anything is easy. Anything we are able to figure out anything as long as we have a big enough why. But I find that the learning curve for vMix is far more steep. It's far more steep. So that's why I generally don't mention it much. But if you wanted to find a Ecamm comparative platform, right? Comparable platform, I should say, then vMix would probably be that platform for Windows, right? So Ecamm only for Mac, vMix only for Windows, but they're very feature rich and allow you to really do a lot of razzle dazzle. And I know some people are like, well, I don't really want to do any razzle dazzle. But in my opinion, like even if you're just even if you're just going to go live with no overlay, with you're just going to take your camera and go live, Ecamm is still the best platform for that. If you're using a Mac, just boom, take your camera, set up your destinations and go live. Makes life very simple. If you want to add another camera, you add another camera. You can do it picture in picture, or you can do it where it's side-by-side crop. So show crop split screen, something like that. Yeah, you can do this side-by-side crop. This is interesting. They've changed some stuff here. Okay, man, I did not realize that they had changed that. That's pretty cool. So that's, one button add. You don't need to do anything special. And you can actually change it to where it's actually doing side by side. You can actually do it where you add in another camera. Boom. There, now we have 3. And again, you can do the crop split screen on that as well. So you have the 3. And I am not doing anything special here. I'm just utilizing Ecamm Live the way that it is intended to be utilized. So if I drop this one, add back this one, then add back this one, and I have myself in the middle. You can see behind me, you can see my shoes on the floor. I just kicked them off during the intro video. It came in quick from another event, so I was just trying to make sure I get here on time. You can see my top down shot here as well. And again, I'm not doing anything special per se. I'm just utilizing the basic functionality of Ecamm Live without all the bells and whistles. And so there is a lot of different ways to utilize these platforms without, so people they look at it and they're like, it's so complicated. There's so much functions and features, but at its base, I have a button right here that says add guest to the left. Boom, hit that button. They're added to the left. It can be that simple. And so you don't have to do all of the bells and whistles, but I recommend any platform that you're going to utilize. It doesn't matter if it's StreamYard, Restream, Ecamm Live, EVMux, it doesn't matter, vMix. I recommend that you take the time and make the investment to learn said platform so that you can leverage all of those functions and features. Okay. let's get back to our comment section. Oh, we got a question here from Sippy Cup. This is Darren. Darren has a question. He says, it's that time of year where we see what's new for YouTube in 25. Haven't watched them yet. A good topic. Will shorter content take over? I hope not. We love the longer, more helpful content. So I think that it's a matter of preference. It's a matter of preference. I think people are willing to watch long form content, Darren. I think people are absolutely willing to. You like long form content. I like long form content, but I don't like all long form content. And I think it's one of those scenarios where it's like, if you're going to go on a date with somebody, right? I'm using a story now, BT dubs. I'm using a story. If you're going to go on a date with somebody, do you want to go on a date, or your first date with them? Do you want it to be, going to the opera or going to see a movie? I mean, we're talking like a 2-3 hour investment. Or do you want to go to a general meetup? Like there is this general meetup that's happening at a friend's house. You and the person are going to maybe meet there, but you're not necessarily going to hang out together. You just know that you're both going to be there at the same event, at the same gathering. It's a low commitment that allows you to see, who is this person? What is this content? What do they have? And so I think there is a role to play for both. I think that everybody has short form content that they enjoy just swiping through kind of mindlessly. But other times you kind of come across something and you're like, that was bite sized, but I kind of need a little more. Let me see if there's more from this particular creator, if there's more from this particular podcast. Let me click the buttons and the links that they've made available so that I can go follow the breadcrumb trail back to where the long form content is. So I think there's a natural, transition or kind of ebb and flow between short form content and long form content. And if somebody just comes across some of my short form content, my hope is that they would still get a smaller version of the value of the larger content. And I think that's one of the ways that we're going to see that we're going to see content take on in 2025. And I think in a lot of extents, we've seen that already, but we as long form content creators, 3 to 5 minutes, 7 to 10 minutes, 25 minutes, hour, we need to be more intentional about ensuring that our long form content has breadcrumbs out there, that some of the value that is locked up in that 1 hour, 30-minute video, you release it, you take the shackles off and you put it out there like digital confetti all over the interwebs. So those are some of the pieces just my thoughts and observations on what you shared there, Darren. Thank you so much for that comment. On the next podcast says, drop StreamYard immediately after yesterday's live, getting my feet wet on EVMux. EVMux is a great platform. Great platform. Keyword there is can do, doesn't mean have to. He's talking about Ecamm Live, and that is so true. Those are words to live by. You don't necessarily have to do all of the things that it can do, but it can do them. And there may be a scenario where you find yourself and you're like, dang, I actually need that functionality. And you don't want to be locked up in a platform that can't do all those things. Tessa is with us today. What's good, Tessa? She says, I'm in the Caribbean. What platform will you suggest I use? What type of content are you want to create? Are you going to be doing short form? Are you going to be doing long form? Is it going to be a podcast? Are you going to be doing interviews? Is it going to be all in the same space? Or are you going to have remote people coming in from all over? You're in the Caribbean. Maybe you want to interview somebody like me. And then I'm not going to fly to the Caribbean, or you're not going to fly me to the Caribbean. If you are, then I definitely want to talk to you. But all of those pieces are going to play major roles in the answer to this question. It is not a one size fits all. It's not just a blanket like, hey, I recommend this. I have every platform that we have just talked about. I have them, except for vMix. But I have Ecamm Live. I have Restream. I have StreamYard. I have EVMux. I have Riverside FM. I have all these platforms for different purposes, for different client projects, for different projects that I do myself. And I recognize their strengths and their weaknesses. And there is a reason why they all exist. So helping you to determine what is the best one for you. It's going to require a little more information. What type of content are you going to be doing? Is it going to be live? Is it going to be pre-recorded? Is it going to be, produced, published, record, edit, publish? What type of content are you going to be doing? That's going to be a critical question to answer before I can help to give you a suggestion in terms of which platform to do. Plus, what type of computer do you have? Do you have a laptop? Do you have a desktop? Is it a Mac? Is it Windows? Is it Ubuntu? Is it Google? Is it a Chrome OS? Those details are going to be critical to helping to understand what would be the best course of action for you. The best course of action for you. I couldn't agree more, Kevin Cox. The stability and reliability is such a key with Ecamm. Happy New Year, Dr. Tachi. Happy New Year to you as well. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Marina says you have such a great studio. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate that. I've been making some little tweaks here or there, and I hope that you guys have noticed them, and I hope that they are doing the job. Okay. OTN says, for clarity, EVMux offers the transparent logos and dark mode as a standard, correct? Transparent logo. You can definitely put a logo and you can change its opacity. Yeah, you can definitely do that. Now, when you say as a standard, I don't know which are you talking, because the plan that I have is, I believe, the pro plan. VMAX pricing. I believe the plan I have is the pro plan. Let's go ahead and let's sign in. I'm gonna go to my screen in just a second here. OTN. Just give me one second. Let's go to billing. No. Okay, let's go to the screen. So there's free, basic, and pro. And so you have some of the functionality that's here on screen. Hopefully this is making sense. I wouldn't do anything below basic, because I don't, if it's your stream, it's your stream. I don't believe you should be streaming with something that says powered by EVMux or powered by Restream or powered by Ecamm or whatever. I believe you should at least pay whatever you need to pay to get that watermark off of your content, off of your streams. So that would be the basic plan. But I believe in the basic plan, you have the Pro Scene Builder. And so what that means is, you should be able to add logos, right? You can see add logo background overlays. You should be able to add logos. You should be able to make them, make the opacity different. So you can transparent logos is what you said, but I believe you should be able to do that. And so the other thing you're saying, dark mode. Oh, dark mode, that comes even on the free plan for EVMux. So yes, you should be good to go where that's concerned. Thank you so much for the question. And if you have any more, please keep them coming. The subtle Doc Pops ad in the top down. Come on. I didn't know you would see it. I didn't think you would see it, but I'm glad you did. But I try to shout out my people where I can. My people got to be shouted out. Camille Nash is with us. Happy New Year as well. All right, my prediction / hope for YouTube in 2025 is getting more real / raw unfiltered content. I think that that's going to happen as well. The trend right now is way less editing. Like, people are done with the in and outs and the transitions and the jumping in and out of the screen and all that stuff. Very light edit, just to make sure that the message and the value and or the story can come across without any distractions. So if there's distraction in the audio, then yes, edit it. Then if there's distraction in the video, then yes, let's edit it to make sure, and let's make sure that it's smooth as we go from one to the other. If B-roll can help to enhance, then yes, but when it doesn't, then don't. And I think that's what we're going to see from I think that's a trend. I share with you, Kevin, on your hope that is something that we're going to see in the new year. Hey, HNY Jenner is here as well. Says Happy New Year. Thank you so much for being with us as well. Perfect. It's OTN podcast. Let me know if I answered your question with the previous comment. I see that you put for the plan there, just as a follow up to what you put earlier. But I hope that you know that the plan. So there's basic should get you to where you need to be. I recommend the pro, just because that's going to be a critical piece. That's going to be a critical piece for that part. Okay. Darren says, how much time do you spend on the back end of your channel studying your analytics? I'm guilty of not spending much time. Tora is here with us today. Thank you so much for being with us, Tora. So Darren, what I would say is, what happened to my overlay? Come on now. I want my coaching corner stuff up. There we go. So Darren, what I would say is, how much time do I spend in there? The time that I spend in there, I would have to split it. I don't think I spend all of the time on the back end of my YouTube channel just looking at analytics. I spend time, of course, scheduling and publishing videos and doing the search engine optimization, using AI to help me optimize my description and my tags. So I spend time doing that stuff, but I have time allocated at least once a week, a significant block of time. I have allocated at least once a week to look at analytics, look at, suggestions, areas of where there are opportunities that I'm not necessarily capitalizing on. And that's about an hour that I have blocked out for that. But I want to say that there are other times where maybe I might see something like an outlier or I log into the back end to do something else. I may see something and I'm like, let me take a look. There's a video that's actually starting to perform well right now. I don't know why. So it just kind of piqued my interest and I started to look at that. That isn't necessarily a part of that block of time. If I found it when I was having that block of time, I would have done it during that block of time, but I found it on a random day and I decided to kind of go down the rabbit hole. I give myself permission to do that from time to time. Not everything doesn't have to necessarily be on the calendar, but I do want to make sure that I am spending at least an hour in the back end of my YouTube channel, taking a look at analytics once a week. I don't know that that's necessary for everybody, but because especially for those who are starting out, you don't have a lot of analytics. You need about, if you're doing content once a week, you need about 6 months of content to be able to have any kind of analytics whatsoever. But then in order for you to actually be able to compare and contrast, you need even more than that. You need more data in that more content that's going to give you more data. Now, I do think that looking at your content and looking at the optimization and making tweaks to subsequent content is critical. One of the things I do not recommend is going back and making changes drastic. Like I'm changing the thumbnail, I'm changing the title, I'm changing the description to your video. And some people even go and take a video down and re-record the video. I think that is too much. I think that's too much. I think when you put a video out on YouTube, this is not Hollywood. This is not Netflix. This is not going on somebody's big screen in a movie theater that tickets are going to be sold for. It doesn't need to be a masterpiece. It's YouTube. And just like what Kevin was saying earlier, unfiltered and raw. This is what a lot of people are looking for. Those numbers trend actually on the higher side. And so if you didn't quite get everything into the video that you wanted, put that video topic on the list to revisit it. And you can say, hey, such and such video revisited. Those videos do well, especially if you know that there's some things that, man, I really wish I'd have done this or this or this. Don't take the video down. Don't change the topic and all that other stuff. You have an opportunity. There's always another video that you've got to post. So you're always going to have an opportunity to be able to do that thing better. So hopefully that makes sense. Darren, thank you so much for the question. Let me see what else we got here. Let's see what else we got. Yeah. Solid. Opacity wasn't an option slash function with StreamYard. No, it was not. It was not. You are absolutely correct. Kevin Cox agreed. Less flashy transitions, etc. But the magnetic mask new to Final Cut Pro X is pretty sweet. I agree with that. That magnetic mask is pretty dope. Living in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, says, hey Kirk, Happy New Year. I'm going through the change from StreamYard. I like the stream platforms that are web-based because I have a PC and a Mac. However, I signed up for the 2-week trial of Ecamm. I thought I put your comment up. I think living in Lakewood Ranch, Florida. I don't know your real name, if you don't mind sharing what that is, so I can call you by your real name, but I think that's a great decision. And while one of the things I always tell people to do whenever you're getting ready to do a 2-week trial of anything is to make sure you actually put time on the calendar to do the trial. Because what ends up happening a lot of times, and it happens to me, I'm speaking from guilt. I'm not condemning. I'm speaking from a guilty perspective. But when you get the trial, you don't take advantage of the trial in the time frame of the trial, and so the trial will expire and you never gotten a chance to really kick the tires. Because for Ecamm, when they give you the trial version, you have access to try everything. You have access to all the functions and features. So I would say try out virtual camera, try going live, try bringing in a guest, try integrating the integration with Zoom, try all of those major functions, but then also try the basics. And make a list of the things that are must have for your platform. You're coming from StreamYard. I know I have a video that talks about StreamYard to EV Mux. I don't know if I have a video that talks about going from StreamYard to Ecamm. I think I do though. I think I do. And if one of my moderators could find that, that'd be great. But we're here to help. And here's what I'm saying to everybody. I hope that you're still here. I hope that you're listening. Find any video. It doesn't have to be content specific. You don't have to find an Ecamm video. Find any of my videos and comment. This is the cheat code, y'all. If you want to get in touch with me, do not DM. Do not go on LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook and try to send me a message. I don't check those. I'm trying to grow on YouTube. Comment underneath the video. Hey, Kirk, got a question about, I know this is not pertaining to this particular video, but I've got a question about this. What are your thoughts? I will respond. Those are the only notifications that are turned on my phone. The only ones is YouTube. And the DMs on those other platforms aren't even going there. I post on those platforms because I need to be present on those platforms, but I'm not trying to grow on those platforms. I'm trying to grow on YouTube. So this is where I do most of my interaction. It's the only set of notifications that are on my phone is YouTube. So I'm recommending that to you. If you have any questions as you go through that process, definitely want to make sure we hear from you as well. We're getting some good questions today, good comments today. I want to say thank you to everyone. This is what this space is meant to be. We want it to be a natural ebb and flow in terms of answering people's questions, getting people acclimated and getting them across the line. No, I don't want people to be stuck. That's why we go live every Wednesday in the coaching corner. I don't want people to be stuck. I want you to have a space. You watch the videos, and this is what I teach. I know there's 27 of you guys on the live today. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. But this is what I teach. A lot of people will, you watch the video that I put out, and then you have in your mind that there is a time. If you're not one that's going to go and ask the question under the comments of that particular video, in your mind that there is a time where he's going to be live and his whole purpose is to answer questions. So if there is something that you saw in a video that you did not get answered, unequivocally, you didn't get the full, experience. Maybe there's some sub question that I didn't quite touch on. Then you already know you can come here on Wednesdays and get that question answered. And if that doesn't work, just comment underneath the video. And guaranteed, look, VAs don't do that. My video editor doesn't do that. AI is not doing that for me. I respond to all the comments, even if it's just to say awesome, even if it's just to say thanks, truly appreciated. One of the things I love to say is thank you so much for your comment and support of the channel. Even for negative comments, I say that. Thank you so much for your comment and support of the channel, because the fact that you commented means you watched the video and you took time to type. that I want to always affirm, regardless of what it is you're saying. Even if I totally disagree with your comment or question, I will always say, thank you so much for your time and support, not time, your comment and support of the channel. And for those who are listening and you're saying, I wonder why he's taking so much time to share this. This is free game I'm giving you. We talked about getting into the analytics of your YouTube channel. I have a different time carved out, not just every day, every week, at once a day, that I go into the comments on YouTube and I'm responding, because it's that important to me from a growth perspective. Not only from a growth perspective, from a content perspective. Many of the videos that I have put on my channel have come from comments that you have posted underneath other videos. And it occurred to me like, that is not something I've done a video on. Let me go ahead and do that. I'll be in a coaching session. And a lot of times in the coaching session, somebody will be like, I really wanted to understand it like this. Thank you for sharing it this way. And I'll be like, I need to make a video on this. Because if it's serving that person, it's all coming together. If it's serving that audience member, if I'm able to say it and explain it in a way, and the audience member who's physically sitting in front of me in a coaching session is like, that's exactly what I needed. You did it like this, but I really needed it from this perspective. I am still learning and studying my audience so that I can speak more specifically to them in every subsequent video that I produce. Okay. We're having too much of a good time here. Darren says, thank you for answering that back end question. Question about AI ChatGPT seems to making TubeBuddy and vidIQ obsolete. I disagree. I believe that vidIQ can really give you some content specific things. I until YouTube really unleashes the same amount of data and back end analytics to ChatGPT that it is releasing to vidIQ, or to TubeBuddy for that matter, I don't see them being obsolete, at least not yet. Maybe it's coming on the horizon. Maybe they've got to figure out ways to add value. I also believe that especially vidIQ, they have this whole coaching program. If you don't know, I was once a vidIQ coach. I actually worked for vidIQ as a content coach. But I believe that is one of the most beneficial programs that they offer. Yes, they have the analytics, they have the title and description optimization, things that they suggest. They give you the scores. You're able to do some in-depth research on your contents and your topics, but that coaching piece I think is invaluable, which is why I wanted to be the coach with them, is because of the work that I am already doing on my own. It didn't quite work out for me to really be in that role long term, because it just stepped on the toes of so many things I was doing from a ministry perspective and others. But I did enjoy being in that role. And I do believe that platforms like vidIQ and TubeBuddy still have some relevance. But you probably, as you say it, you're probably right. I do need to check in on that a little bit. It's possible that they could be going, unless they reinvent themselves or use AI to leverage AI, I guess, to bring some more value to their customers. It may very well be that they are on their way out. But anyway, I hope that gives you some context on the question. When I blip up, I say, hey, this isn't CNN or Fox News. I make mistakes and I keep it rolling. Yes, you do. And yes, you should. Thank you so much for that comment, Tora. I haven't played with the new mask in FCPX, but it's on my list of things to do. Definitely something to do. 20 plus in the building. Nice. You cooking, Kirk. Hey, man, 23 on the live. We cooking with gas. We starting a new year with heat. Great point on Ecamm trial period. I blew that last year. Same for me. No, I'm saying this because I'm guilty. So I'm glad somebody else feels open to say that as well. Darren, thank you so much. How does Zoom integration work with Ecamm? Can you give a short overview? This is great. I don't know if you're still here with us, Marina. I know you said you were going to go to bed. So I'm going to star your comment real quick. Let me know if you're still here. I'm excited to kind of showcase this. Equip Institute is sharing my Ecamm playlist. Florence is just the best. Thank you so much. If I need you, it's a weekend trip to BOL to tap you on the shoulder to say, hey, Kirk. You could do that. Happy New Year. You could do that. Florence says, no fair, ma'am. No fair. Oh my word. Oh my gosh. I love seeing the back and forth in the chat as well. So keep doing that as well. That I take no offense. When you're talking back and forth to one another, I think that's absolutely great. That's what community is all about. That's how you know your community is engaged, when some of the conversation isn't necessarily happening with me on screen, and that's fine. I encourage that. Tora says, I'll pick you up on the way. You guys are hilarious. That is so hilarious. Okay, Tracy says, that is so valuable, Kirk. I always reply to all my comments still too. It's getting harder as the numbers grow, but I am determined to do so. I had a long conversation about this with a couple other creators whose channels are far larger than mine. I know your channel is larger than mine as well, and probably have more activity based on, and some of the questions I know they're a lot more in depth. I mean, you're not, it's not like a one word or one sentence answer. I've got to actually take time to really type out some things, because people are asking some fairly technical questions when they are on my videos. But I just feel like, man, if you're going to take the time to watch the video and ask the question, I've got to figure out a way to incorporate time in my schedule to be able to honor that by responding. It's a two-way street. And if anybody that's not looking at content from that perspective, you're losing already. Let me repeat. If you're not looking at content as a two-way conversation, you're losing already. You're losing already. I want to make that abundantly clear. If you're not looking at your content as a two-way street where you're saying something and you're expecting something back, not that you are hoping. No, I expect people to comment. And so you block out the time and you create the processes and the systems so that you can respond, not in a canned like, hey, thanks. No, in a very specific and intentional way, so that you're making there's somebody that messaged me and was like, dude, there's multiple people who put out the same kind of content you do. I subscribe to your channel because you respond to the comments. And that is so true across the board. Now, is this like a novel thing that, oh yeah, you respond to the comments? Maybe it's not in my niche. I know that it's a well taught practice within content creation, but maybe in my niche there isn't. I don't know. But I can tell you right now, I even go into my competitors. I wouldn't say competitors, but people who are in the same niche as me, who put out same content as me. I don't call them competitors, that we're just in the same lane, but I have my own voice. I look at their comments too. And a lot of times, 50-50. Most of them do the same thing as me. They're responding to the comments, but there are times where I find comments that have not been responded to, and I don't necessarily respond because I feel like that's kind of messed up to respond to somebody's comment on somebody else's channel. But I do make a note of the question because that could become more content for me. And I think that's where the cheat code is. That's where the cheat code is. Jenner says, agreed. Not only free, but heavy game. Come on, OTN. I love it. The Coaching Corner is sponsored by the story I'm telling by clicking the like button. Come on. Click that like button. Duly clicked. Commenting on videos also helps your own channel as you're being a quality platform citizen. I agree. When you comment, I commented on a video from Graham Cochran yesterday, yesterday, the first day of the year. He put out a video that was just so much a game. It was so phenomenal. And so I commented on the joint, and somebody else commented under mine like, oh snap, Kirk, I didn't even know you follow Graham too. And it's like, this is what makes the world go round, man. So definitely, I love that. Quality platform citizen. I love that comment, Florence. That's so dope. I love that. Agree, Kirk. I still use all three. Come on, all three. vidIQ is rocking right now, pushing me towards that 30K day by day. Come on. Let's go. Just Tora. Let's go. I only use TubeBuddy for bulk updates, vidIQ for most other, and ChatGPT for all sorts. Totally agree. Here we go. My YouTube mentor and friend is now a coach with vidIQ, so I get some free coaching. I love that. I love that. I love that. I don't know who that is, but they are definitely hiring at a good clip over there at vidIQ, and it's not a program that I see slowing down because I have friends in that program that I went through a cohort with. They're ramping it up. If anything, coaching is the new frontier. YouTube is such a powerhouse, so people are really wanting to get that in there. Okay, Marin is still here. I've heard that when we hit 20K subs, we're allocated a YouTube coach direct by YouTube. Is this true? I have not heard that. I've not heard that. So that's something I have to look into, Tracy. But that's a great, if it is true, that's something pretty dope. So I definitely want to make sure we look into that. Okay, Marina has this question. I know that there's other stuff in the chat. Let me see. Oh, Tracy's like, who's coming to get me? I love this. On your way to Kirk, who's coming to get me? That's brilliant. Use the gaps in other people's content to create more content. Absolutely, Dr. Tachi. Absolutely. 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 I look at my video as only part of the interaction. There's the question before that, the video that causes it, right? Then the comments and questions after. It's a whole package. Come on, Tracy, you're giving them game today as well. Yeah, I was shocked when I was told that by a guy with 40K subs. Okay, I don't know if you get it at 20K, but I will ask. I have several coaching clients who have more than 100K. So I will ask them to see what they got. 26 of you guys on the live. I want to say a word of thanks to all of you for coming through today. The question on the screen from Marina says, how does the Zoom integration work in Ecamm? And just let me know in the chat. Just put a 1 in the chat if you're unfamiliar with this, if you know this at all. I want to make sure that we're able to kind of get everybody across the line here. Ecamm Live, which is the program I'm using currently, and I'm going to go into live demo mode, so don't get afraid. This is what Ecamm Live looks like. You have a program window right here. You have the default scenes, and these scenes are here. And I can go to the comment section. I can. Which one is this one? Okay, that was a different comment section. That was the one that was messing up. Here's a host plus screen section. Here's a host plus top down. There's a number of scenes that are already built out for me, that I've built out for this particular thing. I need to cut my nails. I have 1 assigned, so I believe that is correct. Oh, snap. So you do get a coach. Come on, Tora. Let us know. See, folks are in the chat that can answer the question. I've been using vidIQ for my thumbnails recently and also plug in YouTube Studio to help update my titles and tags. Yes. Not knowing anything about Ecamm. No worries. We have 3 Kirks on the screen right now. You got multiple. So this is the live demo mode from Ecamm Live. And what live demo mode basically is like with a touch of one button, I am able to share my screen, all of the Ecamm windows. So what I like to do is kind of click everything off first so that you can kind of see what Ecamm looks like without all the different things out there. So really, if you wanted to, you could run Ecamm just from this main window, this window right here. I'm just going to give a crash course in Ecamm and then talk about the connection to Zoom. You can click on the let's turn our mouse on. So you can click on, here we go. You can click right here where it says scene, and you can click on the show scenes window, and that's going to bring this window back up down here. But you don't have to do that. You can actually select scenes from here. So I can actually go into CCK, which is Coaching Corner with Kirk, and I can actually select the different scenes from here. I can go back to camera only. I can go back to CCK. So I can select my scenes from here. So you can do that. You can change you can see the cameras that are here. If I want to do an overlay, I would need to click on the overlays button and actually go ahead and turn on or off my overlay. So this overlay is the one that you see down here. It's 13 PNG. If I turn that off, you can see that overlay goes away. So that's what the overlays window is for. All of these are overlays, right? So here's the live selling masterclass overlay. Here's the 10,000 subscribers overlay. Here's the leaving your comfort zone overlay. Here's the digital card overlay. These are things that I just have in my overlays. I have a fireworks overlay, right? There's a fireworks, right? You can see what that looks like. And then I can also turn on this subscribe button that'll come up, and click the button and all that stuff. So you have these overlays that you can have in all scenes. That's what you can see right here where it says all scenes. Then you have current scene overlays, and some of those will be comments and different other things. You have the QR code sign up, and then you have the overlay that has a coaching corner with my name. Then you also have the backgrounds, right? These are different backgrounds. I'm not currently using any of them. You just see my camera on screen. If I wanted to then do something with my audio, I would need to bring up my audio, my sound levels. And in sound levels, you can see sound effects is here. This is the song that's playing right now is Jazzy Friday. And I can actually click this wheel and adjust the sound. You can see I've got it set to 8, so it's pretty low. But then you also have sound levels here is set to, they're trying to close the door. You can just close the door, buddy. It's okay. But you can also set it to sound effects here and turn that down that way too. So you have that ability there. When you have a sound effect playing on a scene, you just drag that song to the scene and you're good to go. If I want sound effects, here are my sound effects. And again, you have that on the window here. So again, it's really, I don't have to have all these things open, but I do like to have them open because it is helpful to me. Kirk has ghosts. It is helpful to me as I work on some of these pieces to be able to look at these things. Comment screen is on my other monitor. So if I click that and click it again, it goes away, but you can't see it. But let me just pull it over here just so you can see it real quick. So you can see some of the comments are coming in here. Oh, let's not do that. All right. So a couple of people, Big Brother is watching you. Anytime I've gotten stuck, I just pull up a chat and they're right there to solve the issue. I've only had, okay, cool. That's good to know. That's good to know. Sounds very useful. All right. So here we go. I'm going to wait. Let's pull that back up and put it back where it belongs. So over here, so I can see your comments with a glance. So you have the comments there. Interview mode is here. And then we also had the camera switcher, which is up here at the top. And you can see that here. So that gives you the camera switcher. So if I could click, if I wanted to switch, I can just click on any one of these cameras and it switches to that particular camera. So you can actually set this up any kind of way. I mean, I can make these smaller so that I can quickly click between them. So, because that's what it is. It's a camera switcher. So that makes it simple. And for some people, they don't necessarily need the camera switcher open. They have it on their desktop, but I just want to kind of give you a look and feel of why are all these windows open at the same time. The last one on this list here that you'll see is Zoom. And when I click that, you can see that I have logged in to my Zoom account here in Ecamm. And so if I click on scheduled events, it shows that I have a meeting with Dana Betts tomorrow. I have the live selling masterclass. I have one-on-one with Stefan Lubinsky. I have a call with Dr. Vibe. It shows my Zoom events, right? And I can open, I'm not going to open any of those, but I can go into a new meeting as well. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to click on new meeting. And what's going to happen is now you see that this changes. And it shows the Zoom participants. Nobody's in Zoom currently, but I do want you to see what Zoom looks like. All right. So now it's kind of an inception because you're seeing in picture, but Zoom is showing what I'm showing to you on YouTube. It's showing that. So if I go back over to Zoom, brother. If I put Zoom back where it belongs and then come out of live demo mode, right? And I'm going to go to is that the best way to do this? Yeah, let's do it that way. I'm going to just pull up this screen. This is going to be weird, but hopefully it'll make sense. Oh, Lord. Well, anyway, that didn't quite work out the way that I anticipated. But the idea is in Zoom, All right, I'm just trying to make this smaller so it's not so obnoxious. But in Zoom, you have the video that I'm currently sending is in Zoom as well. So I'm going to come off of that. You can see that that video is there in Zoom as well. The people in Zoom can hear me. I can hear them. If you look at the screen right now, right? That wasn't the one. Let's go back over to here. So if you look at the screen right now, you see Zoom guests here on the bottom. That is muted because I haven't added anybody. And if I were to Kirk Infinity, if I were to come, if I were to bring somebody into Zoom, and then that I would be able to click them here on this part of the screen and add them to Ecamm, both their audio and their video, and I would bring them in as a guest. This integration has been a game changer, especially for me as a coach. And I do a lot of my coaching sessions in Zoom. A lot of my meetings are Zoom, and I have full ability to run the entire session from Ecamm without ever clicking into Zoom. I only have it up just to be able to, I guess I let people in. I guess to let people into the Zoom meeting or whatever it is, but that's the only reason why I have it up. So hopefully that gives you kind of a crash course. One of the things I like to say about the Zoom Ecamm integration is that it basically allows you to have another destination that isn't beholden to, the social media world, right? I can utilize Zoom as a destination alongside, parallel to YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. I can also have Zoom as a destination. And so what that means is if I want to bring my community together in a focused fashion, right? Because the challenge when somebody's watching you on Facebook is there's all kinds of stuff. The challenge is that people are watching you on YouTube, there may be an ad may come up, somebody, all kinds of stuff is happening. It can be a little distracting. But if you bring them into Zoom, the only thing that's there is you and the other members of your community or whoever else you brought into that particular meeting. I can bring comments on screen from Zoom. I can share everything that you're seeing. The person in Zoom will also see. So it becomes a very robust functionality because I have the ability to now use Zoom as an additional destination. And if you've never heard it that way, to me, that's the best way for you to describe this functionality of Zoom and Ecamm. So hopefully that answers the question, Marin. I know I took way more time than you probably thought, but that I wanted to make sure we got that in there. Okay. I love that you guys are sharing all of the ways that you're using AI, ChatGPT, TubeBuddy, and vidIQ. Love that. Big brother is watching you. Oh, 4 Kirks. Gotta have it. Tessa put a 1 in the chat as well. So I'm glad several of you hopefully that explanation was useful to several of you. Okay, good. Thank you for that comment, Tora. Always good. I didn't see Kanik. Where's Kanik? Did she come in the chat? I saw David's comment saying hi, Kanik, but maybe she was behind me when she walked by. I don't know. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is what we need. We've been screen sharing our live stream to our Zoom audience. Then we copy paste their comments in StreamYard to show them. Oh no. I can bringing those comments up in Zoom is such a game changer. I produced a event for a client, and this is one of those clients that they don't want anything on social media. They want everything in their, in a controlled environment, which Zoom gives you. And so we did it in Zoom. He just really wanted to be able to have, smooth transitions. In Zoom, sometimes when you share a screen or you want to bring somebody up, you want to make them a speaker, it can be a little clunky. Well, it can be a lot of clunky. I've often said Zoom is not a production tool, and I still stand behind that. I believe that its integration with platforms like vMix and Ecamm make it now a production destination, but it is still not a production tool itself. That's a whole nother story for another time. But I cannot tell you how much that client was blown away by the fact that we could have a full feature broadcast, comments and everything right there in Zoom. I was able to bring up the other speakers into my camera, if you will, not, find them and make them speaker. No, I was able to bring them, use Ecamm, bring the speaker into this screen and utilize this for them to be able to answer questions. It was amazing. Imagine bringing one of your panelists into a scene like this one that's designed for comments, and then bringing the Zoom comment up next to them for them to be able to respond. It's phenomenal. And because we recorded the whole thing, I gave them this master copy at the end of the conference, and they were able to pull clips from that. It was just absolute gold. So thank you. I'm glad that was helpful. I see several of you saying thank you for the information. Absolutely. The Zoom and Ecamm integration is definitely something that is worth checking out. And if you have a Mac, that's why I just say you want to make sure you're utilizing Ecamm for all of your content needs and streaming. Okay. I'm over my time, but I did want to be able to showcase something, share a couple of things with you as we get ready to head out today. Of course, live selling masterclass is tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. and hoping that all of you can come. Make sure you head over to kirkarnugent.com/masterclass. That's where you can go. That's where you can find the page. You can see all the things. You can attend the class there. For my members, okay, we still have people coming in the room here. But for my members, you will be able to attend the masterclass in Zoom. And you saw that in my Zoom here. You'll be able to attend the masterclass in Zoom. Yeah, I believe that the meetup is already scheduled and the meetup has the Zoom link in it. So you should be able to attend the masterclass in Zoom tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. I know, Florence, you said you got to come late. No worries. Of course, we're going to record the whole thing, so you'll be able to go back and catch the replay. And for anybody that's watching online, if you're not a YouTube member or a Workers Warehouse member, you'll still be able to watch it even on replay. You got 24 hours to do that before it disappears and goes into the vault forever. And Workers Warehouse members have access to that vault. So that's the main thing I wanted to share. In terms of story, one of the things that I didn't get a chance to share yesterday, just kind of coming full circle back to it, is some of the other inflection points, all right, including multiple points of view. Let me just do a quick recap. This has been great. Jenner says, new features coming soon to EV Mux, ? I think there is. That's what I've been told. There's multiple, but fantastic stuff, Kirk. Thank you. Really looking forward to the masterclass. Excellent. Oh, let me see. I don't want to miss any questions. I don't want to miss any questions. On the next podcast says, are we able to onboard pre-recorded and edited content directly from EV Mux to YouTube? Yeah. I guess when you say onboard, are you saying you just want to take the video and upload it directly from EV Mux to YouTube, or without having to download it first onto your computer and then upload it directly to YouTube? Is that what you're asking? I'm not certain, because I think the only way that EV Mux allows you to put anything on YouTube is through a live stream. So I don't know that you can just, like how StreamYard has that schedule and post. I don't think EV Mux has that, but I can check. Let's see. Let me go to studios, and I'm going to go to recordings. Let's go to recordings. I have a couple of recordings here. Let's go to that one. Let's go to this one, see if it's actually going to show up. And let's see what should I have here. I can download trim. Let's go to screen. So here's some of the recordings I have in EV Mux, and I have download, trim, download audio, delete. I don't have the ability to post this directly to YouTube like you would in StreamYard. So hopefully that answers the question. But if I wanted to, I could actually bring this video into my studio and then play it through in a live stream. Yeah, you could do that. And of course, if you were streaming to YouTube, it would then go to YouTube. But I don't think that's what you meant. So I wanted to make sure I kind of showcase that. Hopefully that he says yes, you're correct. So the answer is no. I don't believe you have the ability to do that in EV Mux. So yeah, definitely thankful for your question. Just recapping, we talked about storytelling at the beginning. Using storytelling storytelling is a social and cultural activity that can be used for entertainment, education, cultural preservation, and to instill moral values, helping people find common ground, empathy, and understanding, which is critical as a content creator, storytelling, and especially if you want to get into live selling. And we gave you some framework. You want to make sure that you know your audience. You want to make sure you make them care. You want to make sure you set the scene. You want to be creative. But the last thing I want to share here is that you also want to include multiple points of view. Even as you build out your context, you want to consider different contexts and include an expert speech. Oh, now you're cooking. when you include expert speech in your story, because especially if you can use a quote from an authority figure, or if you can just elevate yourself to say, one of the things I always say is ... Consider different contexts and include expert speech. You're taking your storytelling to an entirely new level. The last thing I'll say is to do the homework. It's not sexy. There's no limelight. Nobody's going to thank you for it. Nobody's going to pat you on the back when you do the research. Research I'm saying research as homework as research. But when you do that work to really be prepared to share in your story context, one of the things that, if you've ever watched Morning Motivation, one of the things I love to do is define some of these terms that we find in these quotes. It does require me to actually go on Webster's or Merriam and find the definition, but what it does, it helps people to recognize, like, okay, we're not just gonna take a stab in the dark at this thing. He's gonna provide to us quantifiable information. She's gonna provide to us, data-backed information that will again serve to boost your profile and allow you to have that expert speech. Different contexts, expert speech, research your topics, research your content ahead of time. This is critical in terms of storytelling, and I think it will absolutely be a difference maker for you in 2025 as you continue to create content. 19 of you guys on the live. I cannot believe it. This has been absolutely phenomenal. I want to put this flyer back up again. Hopefully all of you will come to the masterclass, live selling masterclass. Eric has a question. He says, was the release of the functionality to create scenes in StreamYard planned? I think. Was the release of the functionality to create scenes in StreamYard planned? So yes, they made an announcement of that functionality. Let's see if we can't do that real quick. I want to show it to you. Thank you for the question, Eric. Right as we get ready to land here, it's a good place to land for us to be able to kind of showcase some of the things we got going on. Let's go to live, and here they had their roadmap, right? So their roadmap, I'm going to go back to screen. This is their This was a live stream that StreamYard did, and they were just talking about new plans, features, and the roadmap. But if you look at the extreme left side of the screen, there's scenes. They actually are demoing it right there. You can actually see scenes right there. So I don't know if that answers your question, Eric, but yes, was it planned? Absolutely. And when does it release? I have no idea. This video is at least a month old. It was streamed November 7. It's more than a month old. It's coming up on 2 months old at this one, November and December. Yeah, so January 7, it'll be 2 months old. But whether or not when this is going to actually be released, I have no idea. But you do have the ability to kind of build out scenes. And they have also made some other functional changes. In fact, I've got a video coming out this coming Sunday where we talk about some that they've split the brand tab. So the brand tab is actually not there anymore. If you see here on the screen, they have the brand tab, but the brand tab has actually been replaced with two tabs. One is media assets and the other is style or something like that. So I've got a video dropping on that pretty soon. So hopefully that's going to be helpful to you as well. And I want to thank you for the comment. Oh, wow. Billy Thorpe is the guest. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Billy Thorpe is the guest, and we're excited about that. Thank you so much, Dr. Tachi. But yes, Eric, I hope that you were still with us. I hope that you got a chance to get that answer. OTN podcast says solid. Thank you, man. I want to say this to each and every one of you that came through to hang out today. This was a treat. This is the unexpected live that I didn't know I needed to do as we got ready to start the year. And I hope they're going to come back and rock with us again tomorrow at 10:30. Might go live a little bit later as well. But yeah, Eric, not my pleasure, man. But yeah, I knew that being able to lay eyes on it is critical. So I think in one of my last videos, I actually put a screen grab of that particular screen that we just showed, just to show what scenes is going to actually look like. So definitely some things coming down the horizon. For those that have decided to stay with StreamYard, there are some things coming. If you have decided to leave StreamYard, you're not alone. And if you're looking for ways to transition to some of the other platforms, I hope that you will consider us here on this channel, because we definitely are building out resources for people who are looking at all the different platforms to see what the pros and cons are, which ones are going to best suit your needs. You just got to recognize, like, there's so many different car companies out there. There should be more streaming platforms. Each one of us are different in our content, in the way we deliver our live shows and our content as well. And our audiences are different as well. The type of experience that we want for our experience and our live shows and our content, these are all going to weigh heavy on the platform that we choose. And so these are the things that I think as a consumer, we should be excited about. That there is an EVMux, that there is a StreamYard, and that they are not the same. I never get bogged down in the conversations of which one is better. Okay. I want you to see this. This is an iPhone and an Android. I use them every day. Android takes way better pictures than the iPhone. The iPhone's video is simply unfair. The functionality of the two, totally different. I don't care which one is better. I have both. Why? Because I have too many people that I need to serve that have both platforms or one of the other. And because of my role, I feel it is necessary for me to be familiar with both. That's why I hope that you keep rocking with us here on the channel. I'm not a fanboy of any one of the platforms. I simply believe that they all need to exist so that we as consumers always win. It's your boy, Kirk Nugent, the Geek Speaker Preacher. Thankful for your time and attention today. We'll see you around these internet streets or in the next video. Hopefully tomorrow for the masterclass on live selling with Billy Thorpe. Grace and peace, fam.